All right, we have about 25 minutes to the top of the hour. That is the Standard newspaper staring at an impeachment approaching. So that's the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. Members of Parliament have finished drafting the impeachment motion. It's supposed to be tabled, yet they cannot find someone to bail the cat. No one is willing to push this to the floor, including the people who have rebelled against him from the central part of the country. But we also understand that a few of the opposition members are willing to do this, although at some point that also indicated that they will not be part of any impeachment motion, just like Senator from Busia, Okiya Omtata tonight, who says he doesn't find a reason yet to impeach the Deputy President. Grab your copy of the Bold newspaper. The gentlemen are still here with me, and I'd like to ask this question. I know we need to end this because we need to go to other things, but I didn't ask you this, Dunstan.
Yes.
Dunstan, if there was an impeachment motion and you're still in the National Assembly, from where you sit right now, where would you vote? Where would your vote count?
If I was in the National Assembly.
Yes.
As in now.
Now, if let's flip, you're already the Senate.
I'm a senator.
Yes. If you're in the National Assembly and you're supposed to take this vote, where would you take? Where would you vote?
But I'm a senator.
No.
No.
Okay, in your earlier life as a member of Parliament, as a National Assembly, where would you vote?
No, you see, I'm a senator. So I can't take a stand now. I would want to see the charges that they will bring. And then I'd want to see the evidence that is coming. As a judge, I can't pronounce myself like Mheshimiwa has done here. I think it's not a correct thing. Let's see what is before us.
But you want to censure him. That is enough to tell you there's something that is amiss.
Censuring, like I see, the thing Kenyans must understand listening to me, impeachment is a legal process, very, very legal. But censure is a very political censure, it's a motion you debate like any other motion.
Okay.
But impeachment, I think everyone will remember that, in fact, Mheshimiwa will remember, the other time Kawira Mwangaza came before us, the second time, most of us, myself included, and we caucus, say, mama na amezidi. So we had said she's going. The second time. Then they brought the evidence, the videos of people doing bad things and saying, when there was a video that was played there and people said, So people who had decided that they were going to send this mama home, the governor was saved because some MPs did some things that offended the Senate. So let us see
what evidence they brought.
What the evidence will be brought.
Okay.
People might be heading this direction, and then something is shown that might save, or people might be heading this direction, and something is shown that might just
spoil completely.
That is how the Senate operates.
I'd like to talk about you two as friends of the Transport Committee.
Okay, I need to clarify one thing.
Okay.
I said where things stand today, if I was asked to vote based on, and I said the narratives I'm seeing.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I don't see anything. But when they come to the point of the charges being read and evidence being produced, I'll follow the evidence and make a decision based on the evidence. But I'll also tell you that in the Senate, much as the Senate is a political process, I think you have the consequences that are different. An impeachment is an equally political process, where the majority decide that somebody should be removed or convicted. They'll convict based on the political considerations.
I need to check your mic. I hear there's a small problem with your mic, and as I go to Dunstan, as a friend of the Transport Committee, we'll sort out your mic, don't worry. As a friend of the committee, what is going on with the Adani deal? And the senators have recommended to the Cabinet Secretary that this be put on ice for the time being. Your analogy of everything that has been going, and the fact that the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, John Badi, is sort of saying it's a good thing, but let's do a little bit of due diligence. Where do you stand with this?
I think I've pronounced myself on this matter of Adani. When the strike was on at the JKIA, I said that please let proper public participation be carried out. Mm-hmm. If you're the person who is in charge, be open, be honest, let everything be out in the open.
Yeah.
What is it that, what is so personal about this? What is there to protect? If it's a contract, the contract is here, show it to the people. The process was followed, show it to the people. There's a mistake, oh, I apologize. Let us redo it this way. Why I say this, Ken, I was in South Africa the other day, as I said. There's a very famous man who is a minister who died. He was called Pravin Gordhan. Pravin Gordhan chaired the CODESA talks that gave South Africa its independence. Pravin Gordhan reformed the South African Revenue Services. Pravin Gordhan served as a minister in charge of the treasury and other portfolios. Mm-hmm. But you know, when he died, the only thing people were talking about in South Africa was that, look, under you, public enterprises were sold for a song. And the whole legacy was tainted by the fact that there was a lot of opaqueness. Do you know, they were trying to sell the South African Airlines, SAA. The minister is being told, at that time was minister in charge of public enterprises, bring the agreements.
Let's see them.
Yeah, he's saying he won't bring it. In fact, even going before the parliamentary committee was a problem. And by the time he went, he refused to surrender documents. So everybody was saying, you cannot sell. And by the way, at some point, the president scrapped the entire public enterprise ministry, and he retired from politics and he was not involved in 2024 elections. So his whole legacy, a man who was respected, ended up because of opaqueness in dealings with public enterprise. So I'm also saying the minister currently in charge of the transport.
Yes.
The minister in charge of the treasury, please do not spoil your legacies. Let these things be open. Don't hide this thing. This is not your money. This is the money of the people of Kenya. Come out. If senators are asking you for documents, present it. If there's a mistake, say I have done a mistake and I apologize.
Okay.
You know? Okay. But if it is okay, then defend it to the end.
Okay. But there seems to be a problem, because that's why there's a lot of talk about this, even the way it was brought to the Senate. But let me hear from Okiya Omtata, because you are at the Senate and I saw your questions to the government officials who appear before the Senate. From your reading, what is really going on with this?
There's something deliberate. Fraud thrives on concealment. Fraud cannot thrive where there's transparency. It requires opaqueness. And I remember the question I asked the minister. I asked him, can you show me anywhere in these documents where Adani is bringing a single cent?
This is to John Baddy.
Yeah, John Baddy. Into this economy. They were unable to do. They said they will answer it later. The director of PPPs also said they will answer it later. So they could not answer it. But the fact is that in the entire documents, all the documents they brought, there's nowhere, even in the proposal of Adani, that are bringing any money here. They want to come and run around with our money, claim they claim they are doing something, use our money to do what they're saying they want to do, pay themselves, and then end up owning 18% of the airport after 30 years. So the whole thing is a complete scam, and whoever is behind it, we don't know. You are again seeing the name Adani popping up in Ketraco, popping up in the other thing.
Ministry of Health.
And if you look at it, a privately initiated procurement is where you come up with a novel idea, and propose that you would like to do this and that and whatever. This thing of the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, even you remember last time, Kenya Airways tried to take it over. The people resisted. There have been so many proposals that have come in. And even the report that Mbadi gave was, the Honorable Mbadi gave, had a list of people who have expressed interest to come and develop that farm. They had retained a transaction expert, consultant, to look at the whole thing and recommend how it should be done. And this fellow in black and white says the default position is competitive bidding, and we say this thing should go through competitive bidding because there are so many people interested in this. And now what makes the Adani thing really bad is that, which the minister tried to play around with, if you look at the document, it's just dated March 2024. Doesn't give a specific date. Okay. Now there's a letter that comes from the Ministry of Transport, State Department of Transport, forwarding that the March document to the Ministry of the Treasury. So when you go back, you say, now, under the law, you are supposed to deliver your proposal to the procuring entity which is Kenya Airport Authority. Mm. So if this thing is dated March, the earliest in March can be 1st of March. Mm. Because if we put anywhere later than that, it becomes funny. Because now, if the earliest is 1st of March, and the letter forwarding the document from the Department of Transport is also 1st of March.
Then when did it come?
Then when did this document come? Mm-hmm. Did this document come on 1st of March? Mm-hmm. And then there's a very extensive stage when the authority receives it. Yeah. There's supposed to be a lot of things to show that this thing is viable. Did they do this thing in a matter of hours on the same day? And then forward it to the Ministry of Transport on the same day. Then the minister also does what it's supposed to do, and then forward it to the Treasury the same day, and the approvals are given on the same day. So you're dealing with a scam. It's a complete scam, just by that alone. So, when you go into the document itself, there is nowhere that Adani is bringing a single coin into the Kenyan economy. It is games. At best, he's proposing to identify lenders whom the government will borrow from. So he's either an agent of the government of Kenya, or he's a broker for those investors. But to me, from what it looks like, he's an extractor. He's somebody who has come to extract money from this economy with the help of some local players that we don't understand. And I think what the Senate needs, what the Committee of Transport needs to do, we need to see Murkomen appear before that committee.
Because he was in transport.
We need to see Professor Njuguna appear before that committee. We need to see these people in Kenya Airport Authority, because it emerged that many proposals that came never saw the light of day.
At least two more. I had them. At least two more.
They were suppressed.
Yes.
So when we are dealing with a situation like that, we must be very careful, and we must demand that this thing has got no legs to stand on, because it's not even a PIP.
Okay.
There's nothing being initiated by Agani. So why is he coming like a PIP? What is he initiating? Okay. We have always wanted to expand that airport. We wanted to expand that runway. And if you look at the Kenya Airports Authority, it's making money. And even if you look at the money they are making, it's more than what Adani is proposing to make, to give back to the government. So if you look at the due diligence of Agani, it has got no feet to stand on in terms of being a company that you want to engage with. It is scandals all over. Okay. The airport is running in India. It keeps on returning a loss. This is a company that we have got a judgment from India forbidding it from participating in the stock market for manipulation of stocks and what have you. So why are we trying to deal with a company which has got no legs to stand on in terms of credibility? Okay. And the law requires that you can only deal with credible organizations. So for us, I think where the Senate is, that this thing should be quashed and open bidding be held if we want to get private money to come and help us develop the airport. Let it be open tender. Okay. And we get the best deal.
A good way to sum it up.
I just wanted to add something there.
Yes.
Rwanda is putting up a very huge facility. And they are working with the Qataris. And that facility is going to be a competitor to our JKIA. And yet Kenya has been a dominant force. It has been the hub. So in one way or the other, if this Adani deal, there's a problem, and we are having issues with expanding, then let us quickly deal with this matter. If we are not going with it, a decision must be made. You know, if I was, the minister there, if there's a problem, leave it. It is true we need money to expand. Get somebody else to do it, because we are going to lose our competitive edge.
And there were expressions of interest.
Absolutely. So let's deal with this matter. I don't know why people are, why? I mean, why is it that people feel they have to hide these things? Why can't you come? I mean, especially the new ministers. In transport, now we have a new minister. Just say, I came, I found this, I don't like it, I think there's a problem, let's correct it.
Okay.
The new minister in Treasury, I think this thing is not correct, let's have a look at it. Or if they believe it's correct, I will defend it to the end.
Okay.
But let's have a move, because our neighbors are not waiting for us. Yeah. Kenya needs to maintain its competitive edge, and I think we must handle this thing in a way that will help us to remain the big economy we are.
Okay. Gentlemen, we are getting close to the close of the show tonight, but there's something I just want to ask you comments, because it's something that has been proposed by one of your own, Samson Cherargei. 7 years for, it's not straight after the election, this was also proposed. Just comments as I let you go, and I'll begin with you, Okiya. It's time we relooked at the term limit for the president. There's a proposal from him that the next constitutional moment we should relook at how elections are done and do away with the deputies. Now there's a proposal from Cherargei that let's give 7 years. Instead of reducing it to 3, I will reduce it to 3 or 4. I think
for me, I may be the wrong person to ask that question, because when it comes to the Constitution, where we are today in that Constitution, I tend to be dogmatic. My position has been that implement the entire Constitution. See if it works or not. Then you can begin saying you want to change this and change that. All these people are trying to change this thing instead of implementing it, for me, are going to land us into more problems than we know. Let us just implement the Constitution the way it is. All the aspects of the Constitution be implemented, be it the elections, be it the public finances, be it the Bill of Rights. Let us implement the entire thing, be it the security issues. Once we have implemented it, then what doesn't work, that's the point at which you can say, amend this, amend the other. But if people are trying to come out and try to mutilate this thing before they can even implement it, I don't know what they're up to.
Okay.
So me, I mean, be the wrong person to
ask that question.
Because I think that they're running ahead of themselves.
Are they testing waters?
No, they're mudding the waters. They're not testing waters. They just want to mess us up.
Okay.
They don't want that Constitution. They consider the Constitution as an impediment, so they want to destroy it and go back to govern this country like some Wild West.
Okay.
Yeah.
Danson,
from my interpretation of Constitution, I keep interpreting this Constitution, and I pray that the interpretation will be more towards accountability, more towards protection of the freedom, expanding the space rather than contracting it, okay? So that if I was a judge in the High Court today, I would push for an expanded view of what is the constitutional freedoms that are there. So for me, 5 years brings a sense of accountability to every person who is elected. 5 years. It's not long, it's a short period, but it brings that sense that I must do something. Normally the first 2 years you're never popular because you are trying to settle in, and then you promise people, and then 2 years have gone and you haven't done much. But normally in the third year, things start turning, because if you are working for the 2 years, you should be able to start turning the tide and delivering on some of your promises. But if you extend that period, you're not increasing accountability, you're shrinking accountability. Because if now I know I have 7 years, I can just rest 2 years and then start working. I think that constitutional proposition to increase the presidency to 7 years, or even members of parliament or senators or whatever, I think it will not get my support if it came to the House, because it is shrinking accountability rather than increasing the urgency in terms of delivery.
Yeah.
So I will oppose it. Just like when they said that we should prevent governors. There was a proposal to say former governors shouldn't run. Increase the space. Why are you shrinking it? Let everybody participate and give the power to the people. If they think that person is not good, then he shouldn't come to the Senate. But if they think he's good, let him come. I mean, it's a free country, just like political parties. Let every person who wants to form political parties form their parties, and then let us meet in the field. Every person who wants to run, let's expand. Let this country be a free country in the sense of freedom. But don't shrink it by saying, don't shrink that accountability. Please. 5 years, you should be able to do something within that 5 years.
Thank you. Thank you. And as I always say in this show, Kenya is our business at the end of the day. And we are Kenyans, and Kenya is our business. I want to thank you so much.
It's a profitable business. Not just a business.
Depending on where you are.
No, it's a profitable. It works. Kenya works.
Kenya works.
It's just that we are having bad managers. If we got proper managers, this country will run. If you look at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, with all that confusion, it turns a profit.
Exactly.
Bigger than what Adani wants to give us.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming tonight and for sharing your perspective. So little time, too much to talk about.